これがタウンズワールド。パソコンの中に遊園地があるみたい。
ハイパーメディアパソコン富士通 FM タウンズ。
広がる広がる。
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Splatterhouse for the FM Towns and FM Towns Marty. It was released in 1992, and it's based directly on the 1988 arcade beat-em-up released by Namco. It's considered to be an arcade-perfect port, and having played the ROM of the arcade board directly before recording this capture, I really don't see any huge differences, so I would say that it definitely is, if not perfectly arcade-perfect, so close that you really wouldn't notice. It's an excellent beat-em-up. Obviously, the Splatterhouse series has been around for a long time, and it's revered as one of those classic 2D beat-em-up series of games. It's not as popular as something like, your Final Fights or your Streets of Rage, but it definitely is something that has a huge arcade lineage, and definitely something that I grew up on and wanted to feature here. I definitely recommended this version of the game, although I can't recommend spending the money on it. If you get a Towns 2 or an FM Towns Marty console and you buy this game, you're looking at well over $1,000 for the pair. Splatterhouse goes for about $500 on a good day, $650 on a really good day, and Marty's going to run you, around $600 to $800, and then FM Towns 2 is going to run you probably, around the same price. You can definitely buy the arcade board for under that. You do have to be a little bit patient when they come up, but the last PCB I could find for sale that sold about 6 months ago went for $850, perfectly working. So if you're looking for an arcade perfect version of Splatterhouse, buy the arcade game. Definitely going to cheese this boss here. I'm pretty sure this is a well-known secret because I've been doing it since I was a kid at running this game at Video World. If you stand in the right-hand corner here and just keep kicking, you're going to be able to kick all those little crab worms, we're not sure what they are, and you're not going to take any hit whatsoever until the guy hanging there, his stomach just explodes. Definitely a violent enough game. I think it was a little bit more controversial back when it came out than it is now in our 2019 mind frame. But what we'll do here is I'll let you guys watch a little bit of level 2 and just enjoy it, and I'll come back and chat a little bit more about the game and just its overall history. Alright, we're back. We're going into this underground water area. You definitely want to play this game on something like the FM Towns or emulate it on a MAME. The ROM's also available on the 2010 remake of Splatterhouse. All 3 games from the original trilogy are available to play on there. The PC Engine and the TurboGrafx-16 versions are both quite good, although they do suffer from a lot of graphical and sound downgrades, and unfortunately a lot of censorship. In the 4th stage, you fight a boss that has a lot of religious iconography around him, including an inverted cross, and that's been completely stripped from the PC Engine and TurboGrafx versions of the game. So not only do you get a better graphical and sound experience playing the Towns version, but you also get the full uncut game. On the TurboGrafx-16, the mask was even changed to the color red because they were worried about lawsuits. Obviously, there's a certain movie character that wore a white hockey mask, and I think Namco was looking to avoid being tied up, kind of being related to that and avoiding that sort of lawsuit. So on the second boss here, we have the Haunted Poltergeist room. This room is a giant pain to me. I obviously go in with one heart here and don't make it very far. But as far as how the knives fly, I had a lot of trouble with this as a kid, and I definitely still have a lot of trouble with it as an adult. I was able to get through pretty quickly, but even today, I can't beat these games in one sitting. There's just something about the timing of how you fight bosses. Definitely a lot of pattern memorization and kind of being patient. If you just jump at them and attack, you definitely are going to take some hits, and they are going to outlast you health-wise. And I was kind of remembering that because it's been some years since I've played the game. I own all 3 of the games, as well as the 2010 remake. I've got 2 and 3 on the Mega Drive. I've got the first game on FM Towns, as well as the PC Engine. They did release a copy of this game for Windows in 2010. It's Japanese only. It's pretty difficult to find. I've only seen about 2 sell. The last one I saw went for about $100 to $150, so really hard to say what you'd want to pay for that, just because it doesn't have a super huge track record of actually having been sold. It does exist, but if you see it and you really want it, I wouldn't wait for another copy if you think you could do better on the price, because you probably will be waiting years and maybe even paying more at that point in time. But I think I've almost got this painting down. I did. What you don't see that I cut out of the recording is that chandelier killed me. I'd actually beaten the boss on my 2nd attempt. That was my 5th, but I forgot that some of the bosses actually have desperation attacks at the end, and they can definitely kill you outright. So I'll let you guys watch a little bit of stage 3. I'll come back around the boss, and I'll just kind of close this video out. So enjoy, and I'll be back in just a moment. Took another death there, and that's definitely something consistent for this game. It does have unlimited continue, so it is pretty easy to get through the entire thing, but you do take a lot of deaths, or at least I definitely do. Splatterhouse is definitely something that I wish as a series would come back. The 2010 version wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't the best game either. But as far as the FM Towns Marty is concerned, Splatterhouse is definitely the game that is synonymous with the system. Anytime somebody talks about the Marty, the first thing that they talk about is how it has an arcade perfect port of Splatterhouse. So it's kind of its, keynote game, so to speak. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend you spend all the money on it if you already have a Towns or a Marty and you want to pick a copy of this game up. I looked on eBay, and there is one complete copy going right now for $525. If you want to buy it, by all means, go ahead. I wish they were a little cheaper. I had picked one up, years and years ago, and you can get them for about $150 to $200. If you do want to pick up a copy, eBay definitely is an option. I get a lot of my Towns games from Yahoo Japan Auctions. I just use a proxy site that basically bids for me and gets that game shipped in. So it's definitely something I recommend. What I don't recommend is jumping at the chainsaw enemy. I know there's a way to bring both shotguns into the boss fight and being able to kill him by kind of juggling those shotguns, but I don't remember how to do it, so I definitely just keep getting hit over and over again. I can't remember the pattern, so we're going to be ending at the Stage 3 boss. But definitely a great series, a great game. If you're a collector of Splatterhouse, spend the money, buy this. It comes in a beautiful long PC box, like a hard plastic box. The manual is in the jewel case. Unfortunately, it's not a big paper manual, but it definitely has a lot of shelf appeal, especially if you're a collector of Splatterhouse or rare games. But I'll just let you guys watch the end here. Thanks so much for watching. If you could do me a favor and go down below, hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. It takes us a lot of work on each of these episodes, not to even mention the amount of money it takes to acquire all this stuff. So that like and subscribe is definitely something that we appreciate. Otherwise, you can follow us at Instagram at Chicago Game Collector. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week.